shock in the US after a prominent right-wing activist, Charlie Kirk, was shot dead while addressing students on a campus.
What does it take to change a nation before turning 30? Charlie Kirk did just that.
Everybody, you know how it works. Question and answer. Also, thank you to Lane from YRE5. That was great. Really appreciate it. And
he built one of the most powerful youth movements in America. But in 2025, that same fiery voice was silenced forever when Charlie passed away unexpectedly at just 31.
Are both under 3 years old, and he left them, he's going to be remembered forever for always.
This is the story of a young man who dared to shake the system. Join us as we uncover the journey, the battles, and the lasting legacy of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was born on October 14, 1993, in Arlington Heights, Illinois. From a young age, he had a special curiosity about the world. His father, Robert W. Kirk, worked as a project architect for Trump Tower in New York City. His mother was a stay-at-home mom, raising Charlie with deep Christian values, discipline, and a strong moral foundation. He attended Wheeling High School in Illinois, where he began to form his worldview and show early signs of leadership. He wasn't always the top student academically, but he had an undeniable spark. In high school, he volunteered for Congressman Mark Kirk's Senate campaign. This small step ignited his lifelong journey into politics. After graduating from Wheeling High School, Charlie planned to go to Baylor University in Texas. However, he faced a setback. For many, that would have been a major setback, but for Charlie, it was a turning point. Many young adults were getting ready for university, but Charlie chose to jump into political activism. At 18, he started Turning Point USA in 2012. This conservative nonprofit aims to promote free markets, limited government, and constitutional values among students. Charlie traveled across the country, speaking to students, handing out flyers, and using social media to spread his message. Staying in cheap motels, grabbing fast food, and growing Turning Point one campus at a time, this was the grind that started a national movement. Within just a few years, Turning Point USA gained national recognition. Charlie emerged as one of the youngest political voices on major news outlets like Fox News. He also started writing op-eds for popular conservative publications. By age 21, he had already established himself as a rising figure in America's conservative movement, all without a college degree. Charlie Kirk's rise to national fame didn't happen overnight. His bold, unapologetic approach to politics stood out, especially on college campuses. Many young conservatives admired him, but many liberals challenged his views. He gained fame for his fiery debates, viral speeches, and bold tweets. These often sparked both controversy and conversation. Charlie Kirk's big break came during the 2016 US presidential election. As Donald Trump rose to power, Charlie became one of his most vocal young supporters. His appearances on Fox News, The Blaze, and other conservative platforms boosted his visibility. In 2018, he started the Turning Point USA Student Action Summit, which attracted thousands of students and big-name speakers, including President Trump. In that year, he co-authored a book called Campus Battlefield: How Conservatives Can Win the Battle on Campus and Why It Matters. This book served as a rallying guide for many young conservatives in liberal academic settings. It showed his strong worry about free speech on college campuses. He argued that they were becoming less accepting of conservative viewpoints. By his mid-20s, Charlie Kirk was a key figure in the youth conservative movement. He had visits to the White House, ties with powerful politicians, and millions of online followers. Whether people agreed with him or not, they couldn't ignore him. Charlie's personal life was rooted in his Christian faith. He often said politics was just one battlefield. The real war was spiritual. In 2021, he married Erica Francevay, a former Miss Arizona USA, podcaster, and fellow Christian conservative. Erica wasn't just a spouse, she was a partner in every sense. The two often spoke publicly about faith, marriage, and the importance of building a God-centered home. Charlie often said that his marriage gave him peace and strength in the middle of a very turbulent political world. While he was constantly under public scrutiny and often targeted by critics, Erica was his anchor, his safe place. Together they focused on building a God-centered home and hoped to inspire other young couples to do the same. With fame came fire. Charlie Kirk became one of the most controversial figures in American politics. He faced a lot of criticism for spreading conspiracy theories, especially during and after the 2020 election. He raised serious doubts about the vote's integrity. Critics accused him of misinformation, while supporters called him a courageous truth-teller. His organization, TPUSA, also faced internal challenges. Some former members accused it of focusing more on media stunts than real activism. Others said it fostered a culture of division rather than dialogue. But Charlie stood firm. He believed criticism was a sign of impact, and often said, if you're not being attacked, you're not doing enough. Despite never finishing college, Charlie Kirk built a resume that many seasoned professionals would envy. He wasn't just a political commentator and activist. He was also a published author, a popular speaker, and the founder of a major conservative youth group in America. Charlie wrote and co-authored several books during his career. In 2020, he published The MAGA Doctrine, The Only Ideas That Will Win the Future, where he laid out the philosophy behind Donald Trump's political movement. This book hit the USA Today and Wall Street Journal bestseller lists, and also solidified Charlie as a top voice in modern American conservatism. Charlie didn't get formal awards from schools or political groups. His true awards were the influence and recognition he gained. He was listed in Forbes 30 Under 30 in Law and Policy, recognized for building a nationwide movement before the age of 30. Charlie Kirk proved that a person didn't need elite degrees or traditional credentials to make an impact. By 2025, Charlie Kirk's estimated net worth was around $5 to $7 million. His income came from speaking, books, media appearances, podcast revenue, and TPUSA operations. In terms of lifestyle, Charlie didn't live an overly lavish life, but he did enjoy the fruits of his labor. He and his wife, Erica, reportedly owned a home in the Scottsdale or Phoenix area of Arizona, where Turning Point USA is headquartered. Some media outlets described the house as modern and secure. It has a tastefully luxurious feel. There's open space for gatherings and recordings, plus private areas for family time and rest. Charlie didn't show off his wealth with flashy cars. He preferred practical and stylish SUVs and sedans. You'd often see him driving brands like Tesla and Range Rover. His choices reflected a balance between comfort, class, and responsibility. Charlie Kirk's untimely death at just 31 years old came as a shock to many across the political spectrum. Tributes poured in from all corners. Politicians, students, media figures, pastors, and ordinary Americans who had been touched by Charlie's message. President Donald Trump called him a warrior for truth. Conservative voices on different platforms remembered him as a strong advocate for free speech, faith, and American values. His death left a void, but it also ignited a renewed passion among those he mentored. Young activists began organizing vigils, conferences, and local initiatives in his honor. Charlie Kirk's story is not just the biography of a political activist. It's a story of boldness, conviction, and faith in the face of overwhelming odds. He had no political ties, elite background, or degree, but he had a strong desire to share his truth and inspire a generation. He was fierce, he was flawed, he was human, but he was never silent. No matter if you agreed or disagreed with him, Charlie pushed you to think. He wanted you to face ideas, debate them, and stand firm in your beliefs. And in an age of conformity and fear, that alone made him stand out. He taught us that leadership isn't reserved for the powerful or the privileged. It's for those brave enough to speak when it's easier to stay quiet. He believed deeply in the soul of America, and he gave his life to defending what he thought made it great: faith, freedom, and responsibility. Charlie's journey ended too soon, but maybe that's what gives it its power. His life reminds us that impact is not measured in years lived, but in lives touched, in minds opened, in courage passed on. So if you take anything away from Charlie Kirk's story, let it be this: you don't need permission to make a difference. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You just need to start, just like he did. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Your voice may be silent, but your legacy speaks loud.